Welcome back again to another episode of Loans Elevated. I've got TJ here, and we are going over a topic that's a very hot topic, something that can sometimes be a little bit confrontational with clients. They are not sure why one thing is important, why we're asking them to do things, and it's pre-qualification versus pre-approval. Most consumers, home buyers, will look at this, they'll call a lender, and they'll think because they got a letter, it's the same thing. And it is far, far, far away from the same thing. So you've got option one, which is not us for sure. We will not do this. For your benefit. It might be annoying, but it is for your benefit. Sometimes clients will call us and they'll say, hey, your competitor, I had a 5-minute conversation with them. They got me a letter and I was out shopping for homes. That's a really, really, really bad plan. We have literally hundreds and thousands of pages of guidelines that are very specific, very detailed, that can change what you actually qualify for once we dive in and do what our job really is. We have a rock star, amazing team that is their job simply to just make sure your pre-approval is accurate. Now, why is this important? Well, when you call for 5 minutes and somebody hand scratches some details on a napkin and says, yeah, you're approved, really they're wasting your time because there could be just one tiny little document that eliminates the approval.
Well, let's talk about what's at risk here.
For sure. Talk about that, and then I also want to dive into, you should dive into that.
Okay.
It's important to know what's at risk because it's a big deal, but we want to dive into like what our process is and why.
For sure.
We do it this way.
For sure. I mean, what's at risk? Say that you get that pre-qual that the loan officer took just off a napkin, and then they write you that letter, you use that to go into contract on the house. You are then putting thousands of dollars of earnest money at risk if your loan does not go through because your loan officer didn't do his due diligence in making sure you were fully pre-approved and fully vetted out.
Yep.
Dive into our process.
Well, one comment that's really, really critical. Lenders, now we take this very serious because we have high integrity. I'm not saying other people don't, but the fact is we have no legal recourse to your earnest money. Mm-hmm. So if we do a poor job as a lender, we won't, but if our competitors or somebody in our business does a poor job as your lender pre-qualifying you, and ultimately it gets to underwriting, you find out you don't qualify, even though you had this special little letter that said pre-qualification, and you lose your earnest money, you can't come and sue us for the earnest money. We have zero recourse to the earnest money. So you've got to make sure that you're getting something legit. So diving into our process, and maybe we can just compare and contrast as we go here.
For sure.
So pre-qual is what we just said. It's a lazy way to get you a letter so you can go look at a home. That's a bad idea because one, it could crush your heart. Two, it could lose you money. There's a lot of bad that could come out of that. We believe in pre-approval and even further, a full bona fide underwriting approval before you're shopping for homes.
Huge.
Yeah, and there's some reasons for that. One, we don't break your heart, we don't lose your money. But two, you're gonna be able to be more competitive. When you're working with a lender that's willing to write letters within 5 minutes and just a single phone call, the market at large knows that because they have deals that fail all the time. So if you work with a lender like that, you are not equipped with the best team because the other realtors on the other side have probably experienced a time where that lender's deal has failed even though they had a letter. So it's important to work with a lender that is somewhat stingy. I mean, we kind of are with issuing these pre-approval letters. Now we issue a ton of them. Most of our clients are pre-approved because we're very strategic, but we dive into everything. We get a full loan application. We get a full credit report. We get all the taxes, all the W-2s, all the pay stubs, whatever's applicable. We don't overkill it, but we get everything that's required for you to be legitimately approved.
We have literal check boxes on our pre-approval that we make sure we have to check off before we're getting that to you.
100%. And when the listing agent sees that, one, they know it's legit because we say, yes, we've reviewed and approved income. We've reviewed and approved assets, meaning we've documented the money you have for your down payment. We've reviewed credit. We've ran it through automated underwriting. And then another step further, it's called our fast track program. We can even, after that, get it into underwriting and clear your conditions. This process, investing up front, enables you to be more competitive, one, because the market at large knows our reputation. They know that we don't have failed deals, but in addition, it enables us to close way quicker. So you can go and pull different levers with the seller to negotiate and be in a better position. But we dive into all the documentation. Like I said, we don't overkill it. We don't ask for more than we need, but we ask for definitely all we need. And we analyze the credit and income guidelines with the investors, with the agencies, the specific program you plan to go forward with. We're making sure that all I's are dotted, all T's are crossed, and this is a legitimate deal. Because the last thing you want is to walk into a home with your family and your kids, and you're starting to choose bedrooms for the kids, and Sally wants her wall painted pink, and oh my gosh, the yard is so cool, we could put a trampoline here, and then you go under contract, then the due diligence is done, and they're like, oh crap, you don't qualify for that, you gotta spend $100,000 less. Well, you're not gonna find the same house for $100,000 less. You're not gonna find that cute little room for Sally or the nice yard for the kids and the dog. It can break your heart. So there's emotions attached, there's finances attached, it's a big deal. So pre-approval is the way to go. We are extremely, extremely diligent. We do not have failed deals because we have not properly pre-approved a client, unless, I guess, something changes. Go get a new debt, you change jobs, you lose your job, something like that. That can screw things up. So we do everything within our power to get you in that position. And then the fast track, which I've mentioned a couple of times, is an official underwrite. So the actual underwriter on your loan goes through and they condition the loan out legitimately. So then the loan is basically done, and all we have to do is get an appraisal and a title report, and we close.
Even if you're not fast tracked, say you go into contract and you're not fast tracked, you'd have to go through that initial review anyways.
Yep.
So you might as well get it done beforehand and ease your pain later on the process. Get it done up front.
Yeah, that's why it's called fast track.
Exactly.
We're just fast tracking the approval once you go into contract. And one thing, I would love to tout on our team. Our team has, it's a lot of experience. We're talking like 80 years of combined experience in this industry. We are all young hustlers that can get the job done. We're very detailed, and we know it. We don't just have assistants that we pulled from some restaurant. I'm not saying that's bad, but we have legitimate people that know the guidelines, and we can make this fast. Like, here's the thing that's important to know. You might get a pre-qualification letter from a lender that is probably 75% likely to fail on that transaction. You might get a pre-qual letter in 5 minutes, but if you would just invest 45 minutes getting us this information, it doesn't take you long. My team, we turn out pre-approval letters in 2 hours. Yep. So we're not talking about weeks or even days of time. We're talking about like a couple hours.
If we can get the proper documentation, we're ready to sit down and go through it and make sure that you're pre-approved and that you're rocking and roll.
Yeah, and it's legit, like same day. We get applications, issue pre-approval letters almost the same day every single time. So why don't you close us out, summarize this stuff, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, basically, there's pre-approval, pre-qualification. You want to get a pre-approval. It's going to show the listing agents when you're looking at houses that you're more serious. It's going to give you a clear competitive advantage. And taking that step further, be fast-tracked, because we can close extremely fast. The average closing is 30 days. We can cut that down to as little, a third of that in some cases. So if you have any questions, if you want to get fast-tracked, reach out to us. And if you found this information helpful, please share it with your friends and families. We'd love to help people. And you can also follow us at Loans Elevated. Anything you want to add on to that?
I would just add, reputation matters. Find a good lender.
Who you
I
are
think
matters.
we're it. Yes.
Yep.
Please. Thank you so much.